Hi, I'm 8pack, the UK's #1 overclocker, Europe's #1 and currently ranked #2 in the world of overclocking on hardware boards. I currently hold several world records in the world of benchmarking and computer testing. The records I'm holding at the moment are 3D Mark 06, Vantage and Firestrike, to name but three. All of these benchmarks test CPU, motherboard and graphics card of a system. So from this, I've got plenty of experience in overclocking systems to the absolute max. What I'm here today to do is introduce to you my new range of systems that I've produced in conjunction with Overclockers.co.uk. The ethos behind the systems are to be the absolute best of the best systems in each given category. I pick motherboards, CPUs and GPUs that work synergistically together to get the absolute best of performance. An example of this is I may well test 100 CPUs to find 5 for one of my systems. The 5 that I've picked will not only be good for absolute maximum frequency, they'll have very strong PCI Express 3 rails to allow you to overclock the GPUs very far, and also they'll have very strong IMC, which is integrated memory controller. The IMC is very important when trying to tune memory and get the absolute best bandwidth from the memory. So it may well be 1 or 2 out of 100 that I'll pick to make the grade for the systems. Having said all this, I'm now going to introduce to you the entire range of systems. The first of the range I'm going to introduce to you here is the Hypercube. This system is designed to be compact, offering a discreet but distinctive outward appearance, but not skimping at all on performance. This system is the high-end gamer's dream, and whatever the resolution or setting, the Hypercube is a choice of champions. It can play any game, any setting, across any multiple monitor array. The heart of this system is an Intel Core i7-4770K Haswell CPU. The base clock of this CPU is 3.9. Here we have a system which has been overclocked to at least 4.9 GHz under water cooling. The motherboard in the system is a Gigabyte OC4 Z87 motherboard. This motherboard is fully featured and has dual LAN ports, excellent onboard sound, but the main feature I'm making use of here is the onboard PLX chip. This chip allows us to run multiple graphics cards at maximum bandwidth. The RAM in the system is 8 GB of Avexia Core Extreme Orange DDR3 3000. I picked this RAM because it's orange in colour and fits perfectly with the colour scheme of the motherboard, orange and black, and also because it was handpicked for me from 5 kits worldwide, reaching the 3000 MHz speed grade at particularly tight timings. The graphics in this system is 3x GB WindForce NVIDIA GTX 780s, set up in Tri-SLI. These are water cooled and overclocked to 1150 MHz on the core and around 1700 on the memory. Obviously in this configuration, Tri-SLI, they can cut through any game like a knife through butter and have no problem with any multimedia task that you throw at them. The storage in this system is one 512 GB SSD for the primary boot drive. This is the world-renowned Plexstar M5 Pro, which is a very reliable drive and very fast as well. 2 TB of secondary storage, which is enough to hold a massive library and also DVDs, music, etc, etc. The case for this system is a Customs Case Labs Cube chassis, which has been customised by myself. The chassis has obviously the custom 8pack logo here at the front, has the 8pack custom window and 8pack custom fan grills. I chose this chassis because it's quite compact but allows massive air through for an extensive water cooling loop. The cooling for this system is dual loop. By this I mean one loop of water cooling for the CPU and motherboard and another loop for the GPUs. In the custom cooling we have EK blocks on all the GPUs, CPU and motherboard. We have Mayhem's fluid, which in this case is orange, flowing through the tubing, and we're using Bits Power fittings. The radiator arrangement for this system is 6 120 radiator space for the CPU and motherboard and 6 120 radiator space for the GPUs. The fans are the world-renowned Side GT fans, which are not only very quiet in operation, they have the highest static pressure of any fan and are world renowned as the greatest water cooling fans available and most reliable. The PSU in this system is Corsair 1200 watt AXI, and the system comes with fully braided Bitfenix cabling. This particular system has USB fan controller, which means that all the fans in the system can be controlled through an easy Windows interface. It also can dynamically change fan speed with heat to the components of the system, again controllable in Windows. This system is not only very powerful but also silent too, because this fan controller means that you can run the fans at about 50% speed all the time, around 900 RPM, which means the system is almost inaudible in any room. The next system I'm going to introduce to you is the Polaris system. This system is housed in what most people would call a full tower case and can comfortably support those in designing graphics and editing roles, such as video editing. It can also cut through any games on the largest 4K monitors or monitor arrays available today. The system is designed to be excellent for these professional designing and video editing roles. This system has at its heart the Intel Core i7-3770K. This CPU standard clock is 3.9, but here in this system we're running it at least 5 GHz. It's an Ivy Bridge CPU, so is very cold in operation, but with EK water cooling we make it even more efficient. The motherboard for this system is Asus Maximus 5 Extreme Z77 chipset motherboard. This motherboard is widely accepted by the amount of submissions on the Overclocking League and through reviewers worldwide as being the best Z77 motherboard around. It fully features as you'd expect from all top motherboards and includes PLX chip, so you get full bandwidth to all graphics cards. The RAM offering excellent bandwidth to the CPU in this system is 16GB of Corsair Dominator Platinum DDR3. I chose this one because it tunes very well as it has a Samsung IC. Typical speed for the system RAM here are 2400 C9 or 2600 C10. It can be tuned up and down depending on the strength of the IMC of the CPU, but also to gain maximum bandwidth available to the CPU. It also, with its white LED, looks great with the white and black colour scheme of the system. The graphics in this system are two NVIDIA GTX Titans with 6GB onboard RAM. These Titans are water cooled and then overclocked in SLI to at least 1150 MHz. The storage in this system starts off with a RAID array for the primary boot drive, made up of two 512MB Plexstar M5 Pro SSDs. The storage on this system is 3TB of secondary storage, enough to hold all your videos, games and photos. The case here is customised Case Labs Tower chassis this time, and it features customised 8-pack branding with customised front plate, window etching and fan grills. The cooling in this system is again dual loop, 3 radiator space for the CPU and motherboard, and we have 5 radiator space for the 2 graphics cards. Again, with this system we're using Scythe GT fans, and we're using custom coloured fluids manufactured by Mayhems with Bits Power barbs. The cabling for this system is braided Bitfenix, and the PSU is again a 1200 watt Corsair AXI. The final system I'm going to introduce to you today is the Supernova. This is a mammoth in both size and power and can do absolutely anything you throw at it. It's good for coders, gamers, any type of professional alike. The only winner in any situation is the Supernova. The CPU in this system is an Intel Core i7-3930K. This CPU has 6 cores and with hyperthreading, so you can do 12 threads of work at once if the software allows. This CPU's basic turbo clock is 3.9 GHz. We have it here overclocked to at least 4.9 GHz. The architecture is Sandy Bridge E, which means you've got quad channel RAM for excellent bandwidth. The motherboard we're using here is the Asus Rampage 4 Extreme Z79 chipset motherboard. Asus are the dominant partner in X79 motherboards, and this is their flagship board, so no surprising that I've chosen this one. This board here particularly has helped me with overclocking world records in 3D Mark Vantage, which I've held the world record several times, 3D Mark 11 and The current 3D Mark Firestrike world record was done using this board by myself. So obviously by proving to be good at world records and on LN2 cooling, this board also can meet the highest demands of your average user system, and that's why I particularly chose it. The motherboard is water cooled along with the CPU. In this system we have 16GB of Team Extreme DDR3 2400. This has been overclocked and tuned to around 2500 MHz C10. It offers the Samsung IC, similar to the Corsair Dominator, which means that you can tune it down 2400 MHz around C9 or tune it up 2500 MHz C10 to get the best out of the IMC on the Sandy Bridge E that you've got in hand. The graphics on this system are uncompromising, 3 times NVIDIA GTX Titan, overclocked in Tri-SLI, all running at 1150 MHz plus. Often we can get these cards up to 1200 MHz, and at any frequency, even stock, these cards can cut through anything you throw at them. So add the overclock for an extra 15 or 20% performance, you have a legend born. Real graphical power that can run 4K monitors with ease and at very high frames per second. The storage on this system is 2x512GB Plexstor M5 Pros in RAID 0 for over 1000 MB per second transfer speed. I've chosen the M5 Pro because of its reliability and speed. Here in this system we have 4TB of additional storage space. This 4TB of secondary storage can hold any amount of films, videos, photos, games that you decide to store on your PC. The case on this system is the custom Case Labs Tower chassis, which allows us to put custom water cooling in both the base and the top. The custom features of the case to show its 8-pack branding are the front panels, which is backlit. We also have the etching on the side window, and we have custom fan grills. The cooling in this system, all the water blocks are by EK, and the CPU and motherboard have a separate loop and one loop for the GPUs. For the CPU and motherboard we're using 8 radiator space or 8x120mm fans. This means that we can run the CPU and motherboard very cool and keep the fan speed very low because we've got such capacity available with the radiators. The radiators for the GPU is 6x120mm fans, and this allows us again to run the fans very low, and the GPUs run at full boost clock all the time, as even when gaming they're only running at about 35 to 40 degrees C maximum, even overclocked. The fan control on this system is both remote and USB controlled and allows us to control all the fans within the system. The overclocks that I've attained on this system allows all the fans to be run at around 900 to 1000 RPM, which means that the system is not only extremely powerful, it's almost silent in your room. The PSU on this system is the tried and tested Corsair 1200 AXI, and the Bitfinex cabling in black and red complements the black and red colour scheme of the system. The water cooling fluid in the system is Mayhem's, as in all the other systems, and all the fittings are Bits Power, which are hand painted and offer the best finish available today. Well, there we have it, my range of ultra powerful, ultra high-end machines. If you want to find out more, visit the links below, go to overclockers.co.uk or www.8pack.co.uk. Thanks for watching my video, see you next time.